Alright, hello friends, hello. Let's see who is here. Abstraction, hello. Fernando, hello. Captain Mike, ODM. Hello. Lamp, Hinker, Mr. Kupo, Ewan, thank you so much for the 8-month sub. LFK, hello. Jim, Lamp, thanks for this sub. Captain Badass, hello. Uter. Scruffy Marks, how's it going? How is it going, guys? It's good to see y'all. It's been a little bit. Oh, Rienfo. Hello. Other side of the world over here. Welcome. How's it going? Alright, folks. So as the title implies, our build today is fairly straightforward. We are building a Wilba Thermal Plus today. This is a unit that I got a few months ago. Just didn't have a chance to build it. And we also have these new Wisteria V2 switches. So these are new factory lubed, but they're factory hand lubricated switches from Zepcity, and these are actually hand lubed with 3204 with TriboSys 3204, and we have TX springs in them, which is pretty interesting. So like pretty much it's all done for you at the factory. So I'm kind of excited to try it out. So yeah. How good are your Excel skills? They're okay, moderate. They're not amazing. Why? Are TXAP stabs worth it? They're what you can get if you are looking for, you know, if you're looking for stabs. It's cherry clip-ins, it's Duroc for screw-ins, TX for clip-ins, another option. But if you want clip-ins, yeah, TX and cherry clip-ins are pretty much what you get option-wise. So you know, I would just go for either of those two typically. So yeah, and no real need to use screw-ins for everything, except in some cases. But yeah. Oh, my filter's not working. It's too bad. You might hear a little bit of the noise in the background, but hope you can bear with it. I need help with my taxes. Oh, taxes? Taxes in August? Are you paying quarterly estimates or something? Is that what it is? I'm a little late. Oh, I see. I mean, I can try to help, but I don't know. Alright, so this is the board we're building from the foundry. This was back when RamaWorks was still doing work back with Mr. Wilba. And here we have the components box over here. Well, let's just take it out of the box now. It's a unit in Soya. And so this is the like beige-ish sort of tone board. Got this one a little while back, but the finish does look quite nice. Very nice color on this. So we have this beam plate, which is the like polished silver aluminum plate. So that's one of the options that we get. And then I also happen to have a black alu plate, so the Kuro. Is it raining or air conditioning? Oh, it's the water is on, so someone's like taking a shower, I guess. And then the AC is running, yeah, in the background. And then I do have a little small fan here, so it might be a little noisy. So I apologize. I thought the thought my filter was on for the noise filter, but for some reason it's not working. And so it's like one of those like I don't know what's going on moments. Yeah, just turn it on again, but it's not really picking it up, so whatever, I guess. Alright. So yeah, so I do have this black alu plate as well, so I'm kind of torn between using alu black or alu silver polish. Silver polish looks kind of nice, but black might look nice here on the top side. So I'm kind of torn about it. We do have a little R1 1U keycap, accessories, some of the little pads that you can put between the parts of the plate, or the case rather. And then we have our PCB, of course. Well, they're still shipping people products instead of just posting Lambos. I don't think the posting nice cars part was ever not a thing, but that's, you know, one person's taste in vehicles. The Harry Potter setup. Somewhat. It's a little less so, I think. Kilo down with the Prime sub. Thank you. Appreciate it. Alright, let's get these bump-ons out first. Might as well just put them on now, while I have them here. Their new products are so stupid, I wouldn't be surprised if he sold a vape. Yeah, they're all like very generic stuff, right? Like random stuff at that. It's like there's like a lighter, and there's the bat, and there's the jars, and there's a bunch of random stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they sold pretty much just about any random product. So at this point, I do not really consider them a keyboard vendor. You know, ever since, you know, the whole fallout, and at this point, yeah, not really a keyboard vendor. Kind of gone and fallen through the cracks, and yeah, just gone. Can't really consider them either way. It's not like they're doing keycaps or anything anymore. I mean, maybe they try to, but I haven't really seen much on that front either. Did they ever ship those duck switches? I don't know actually. The duck switches, I remember there were some reviews about it, but I don't know if the production run actually like finalized. To be honest, I never keep track of these things, so I can't tell you, but I don't think I've seen them out there that I recall. So, oh, Andrew, what's up? What's good? Alright, so let's actually take out this plate, because I don't know whether I'm going to use this plate or not. So let's take out the plate and kind of go from there. So I'm gonna need, I think it's a T10 screwdriver. People have received them, if I recall correctly. Oh, I see. Divinity used to have them in stock. Oh, okay, got it. Got it. Okay. Haven't seen them outside of the initial review cycle. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about that. But if they're out there and in stock, well then, good for them. But I can't say that I've seen them on like builds much. You know, like it's not like I go on YouTube and open up or like look it up and find a lot of builds yet. That said, it's not like everybody posts them, so it's a small subset of people also you're talking about. I saw someone build a Jaguar with them. Oh, okay, cool. I mean, they sounded pretty good. when the review cycle was around. So people were talking about how like they're pretty smooth and whatnot. So it's just Switch at the end of the day, though. I feel like a lot of these factories kind of have this figured out in some ways, and have like these recipes that they just follow, and you know, you can just request your own colorway for that, and they'll just do it, right? So just opening this up to take the plate out of there, which is this one. And here's the inside. You know, it's basically it's essentially like a top mount, kind of. But it's like leaf spring. Really. Oh wait, actually, no, sorry. This is basically like sort of top mount because it has these screws. But there are leaf springs on the plate, right? And you can also attach some gaskets to also prevent any kind of like weird resonant noise. So, but the case looks beautiful. Really like this color. It's like a very nice warm beige tone, which is called soya here. And I'll go ahead and just move this to the side. Yeah, leaf spring sandwich is most of the action, but technically the plate does get bolted to the top. Like there are these small screw holes that do get bolted to the top, so yeah. But the leaf springs do a lot of the work in terms of when you're typing, when you're pressing down, the leaf springs do allow it to go down. So it's like top mount, but the leaf springs do the work during the typing, which is rather interesting. 2 years since we commissioned the new? Oh wow, that's quite some time, Harsha. Has it really been that long? Doesn't really feel like it. So I'm kind of torn between black or this silver. So if you guys have any... I'm leaning towards the black, to be honest. I think the black will look nice between the little fins or whatever. So I'm kind of leaning towards the black. That's just me. But yeah, okay, this is just a cable and switch puller. And we'll put that on the side. Keycap on the side is fine. I'll put the screws away. I think the contrast is nice with the black, which is why I want the black. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. Yeah, maybe might give it that like vintage look a little bit more. Rather than the polished silver, I think would have been okay if it hadn't been polished instead. If it had been just matte sandblasted silver, that would have been kind of cool too. But since it's not, I think I'm gonna go with the sandblasted black. Yeah. No. So yeah, here. So yeah, I think the black will be a good contrast to it. So we'll go with that. Why don't we get started here and talk a little bit about these switches. So these are the Wisteria V2 switches. They come in this very saturated purple, violet really, and this cute lavender lilac sort of tone for the stem. They have this Zepsody branding on the top. And what's neat about them, right, is that they're hand lubed. And so these are hand lubed with lubricant that we use in the community, which is TriboSys 3204, which is basically grease. It's a little less viscous than the ever popular 2.5 grade 0, right? And we got hand lubrication, so like brushed basically onto the stem. And so we can take a close look and see whether that's true, and also just to see like to the extent to which it was applied. So I'm gonna open it up. It has this 62 gram TX spring, apparently extra long TX spring, so you can see how long that spring is. Pretty long. And so let's just zoom in a little bit here, and maybe it might be easier for me to put it on a something instead of grabbing onto the switch by itself. And then maybe I should grab a stem holder of sorts. This is dusty. Okay. So this is a slightly long pole switch, as you can see. And it's a little hard to see the lubrication, but oh yeah, there. You can see the brush strokes there, right? It's very faint, but you can kind of see it. And it's pretty evenly applied around, so it's front, side, back, side, and including the legs. It looks like it definitely was applied with some kind of brush. Do I see it at the bottom? Don't really see application at the bottom. So pretty much all four sides is where the lubrication was done. And as for the spring, I'm actually unsure if this spring has any lube. Oh, it does. It does have some oil on it. I just like kind of like put it on my hand, and it was definitely slightly oily. There is just a little dab of oil, grease at the front legs. I mean, at the leaf there. You can kind of see it. It's hard to tell, but I can tell you that it's there. So it does seem to be pretty much fully lubricated. Like the spring is lubed, and the stem is also hand lubed, brushed. So this is super nice, honestly. This is pretty ace. Honestly, it's like, it doesn't get better than this in terms of hand, like, you know, factory lubed, when the application is nice and even, and they're using springs that we like using. It is a extra long spring, so apparently it bottoms out. The bottom out is like a 57 actually, but it is rated for 62 gram. But because of the long spring action, it feels more like a 57. So we can close it up. And yes, it's an Athlon, I believe. Custom switch. Pretty nice. It definitely feels pretty smooth. And I do not hear much leaf ping. So that's a good thing. So yeah, pretty promising. Long pull indeed. As for how long or the travel is, I can double check. It is 3.2 millimeter. Okay, it is a significantly shorter travel. 0.8 millimeter difference in travel is versus a regular travel switch, which is like 4 millimeters, right? 4.0. So let's go ahead and plug in this PCB. What's the material of these switches? It is nylon bottom housing and polycarb top is apparently what I have here. Palm stem, as is for a lot of them, stems. I'm gonna go ahead and check this PCB. I think it should already be flashed. I'm pretty sure that's just the RGB test. So go ahead and actually turn off the lighting here because it's too bright. Turn on the brightness, turn the brightness down, and go ahead and check my layers here. I can put B on the screen if you want. There it is. I do prefer to have my Windows key on the right and the left side, my bad. I do use right alt, so I'm gonna do that. And for my layer key, I only really need one layer, so just gonna keep it on that. As far as the layout choice, I am going to the full backspace today. So full backspace, and we can switch up backspace with pipe, and the rest looks fine to me. So let's go and test the PCB, as we should. Does the TX springs come with the switch stock? Yes, it does, which is pretty cool, honestly. The fact that, I mean, so the idea of this switch is that you buy it and you don't do anything to it. You just use them right away. Which is honestly ideal for a lot of people. Like lubing switches is super time consuming and tedious and not always the most consistent thing in the world. And honestly, just, yeah, it just can be aggravating, so I totally get it. Having something right out of the box that works and that feels like any switch you would have done yourself. So pretty cool. I did tell Zepsity, like, hey, I wish these were non-long pole, because my favorite switches are, well, Cherry MX switches, specifically from Cherry the brand. So, you know, I like my 4mm travel switch. So, yeah, maybe eventually there will be a full travel switch that's kind of more akin to these, like, you know, Cherry MX blacks or browns or whatever it is, right? So that'll be nice, but for now we have long poles for these guys, for the Wisterias. All right, all tested. Oh, hi, Drua. Oh, goodbye. Bye. All right, so Unkit and Unkit accessories, right? Yeah, right. Nice. How are you enjoying the bias? Hell Poker asks. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. It's a pretty solid board. I also have previously built a bias, so it's not a board that I'm not acquainted with. It is pretty nice. I've been enjoying it with the polycarb plate. Nice and kind of clacky, pretty prominent sound to it. So yeah, I've been liking it. I've been enjoying it personally. Alright, so let's go ahead and do stabs. So for stabs, should be pretty simple. Should be ANSI, so 1, 2, 3, 4 stabs, 7U, as per usual. So gonna need 4 sets. Oh. 1, 2. There we go. Okay. Not getting anything keyboard related or anything for the foreseeable future. Nice. Nothing interesting. Yeah. I can see that. Some people are, I mean, well, I know Drua, but some people are only interested in very specific things, so that's understandable. And money is nice. Yes, not spending is nice. No need to spend if you don't have to. Okay, let's go ahead and break in these clips a little. But Vala is having a 40% off sale to tempt us. Vala supply? Yeah, I think I saw that. They have like GMK, like Shashin, and like some other ones, right? They have that HSA set? Oh, really? Which? I guess there's been a few. Maybe it's like WoW or something? Blue Moon is $90. Is Blue Moon good? I actually don't even know how it turned out. That's a DCS set, right? I mean, it seems like a pretty normal looking blue and white-ish. Set, but it's DCS. I think Cherry style Legends for the DCS set. Looks okay if you like Cherry Legends on DCS, and if you like a simple-ish colorway like that. Decent price, I guess. What are you doing to the stabs? I've never seen someone manhandle them like that. Oh, so notice this. So I clip them in, right? And so TXAP stabs, turns out, or at least the batch that I have here, turns out that they're kind of stiff. So you see how this clip is being held by, I mean, this wire is being held by a clip here, right? And basically the movement, like it rotates around that clip, right? About that clip rather. And so it's kind of rigid feeling. Like, you know how, like, you see how like the wire goes up there and then it doesn't really come back down? Like, force of gravity doesn't do anything. And so it's kind of stiff. Well, it's not actually, it's not stiff. It's just there is friction, and so it kind of feels like bindy, right? Like if you were to install this on a keyboard, even after you lube it or whatever, right? It will feel like it's kind of sluggish. And so to just counteract it, it's just that these clips are a little bit tight. So what I'm doing is unclipping and clipping, unclipping and clipping, unclipping and clipping. You know, basically just doing that, breaking in the clips so that they're not as tight, basically, as Shrek is God just said. So yeah, just breaking in the clip. And I see Hyperfuse, the shiny one. Okay, cool. Have a good stream. Okay, bye, Drew. Take it easy, dude. And so you'll notice once I do this a few times, right? Look at this now. If I kind of like tap on the insert, right? I mean on the housing, it comes back down because of the gravity. Like it basically isn't as tight anymore, and so it actually comes back down nicely, which is the goal here. So I do the same for every one of them. Losing the clip helps the spacebar in general. It helps all of them in general, in the sense that it won't feel as tight on the wire. So the idea of stabilizers is that they're, well, supposed to stabilize these longer keys, right? And these two sides are effectively the stabilization portion of that longer key. And the wire movement should effectively be free. Like, in an ideal world, you have a perfectly parallel, perfectly equally moving system where things don't vibrate, things don't move, they're perfectly in place, and they move exactly as you press the center of the cap or anywhere else on the cap. Everything else goes down on the same plane at the same speed and everything else, right? We use these stabilizers as a mechanism to, well, stabilize that motion. And so they should be free rotating and freely moving without any deviations outside of that rotation of this wire slash vertical movement of the stabilizer inserts. But well, we do not live in an ideal world. The laws of physics don't create some chaos. And so we end up with a situation that we sometimes have to remediate, which is this, in this case. So I break in all my stabs, basically. Now with TXAP, the TX revision 3 or revision 2 or whatever, the previous revision wasn't as tight. I think that AP just had a tighter tolerance at that wire clipping point. The previous ones were not as tight, but that said, TX stabs are still pretty good. You lube them lightly with, in my case, I use 205 grade 0. Some people do other things like XHD BDZ, but I like using 205. And a light coat of it is more than enough to eliminate any remaining rattle, right? So that's what I do. Yeah. So AP turned out to be tighter in tolerances. So, and I bought a good number of AP sets. So in my case, I have to do this every time now, at least for the foreseeable future. While I have these stabs, which I probably will have them for a while. So, but they're not bad stabs per se. Like, it is a little work here, it is a little annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Honestly, I would still take the AP stabs, like these TX AP stabs, over other ones. I mean, cherry clip-ins work perfectly fine too, though, and I've tuned Durox, I've tuned other stabs perfectly fine as well. Just a little bit easier with TX to get them right, I feel. So you do that. You want to keep track of which side of the wire goes with which side of the clip. So that's why I keep them clipped. I mean, like this, right? I keep them in the same exact place where they were. And then now I grab my brush and I'm gonna start lubing the actual stabs. So I'm gonna start with one. I just pick one, undo one end, right? And that end is going to be obviously always the same, as long as you don't undo everything else. So in my case, I just like putting a teeny dab of lube, like the smallest thing ever. And then I grab my insert, and the main part that I want to lube is inside where the wire is going to go. So I personally brushed a very thin layer of lube there. And that's about it. That's about it. And then you want to lube the wire now. For the wire, my application for the wire has been pretty much consistently the same for a lot of stabs. I get sufficient lube, not too much. I wipe off a lot of the excess. I just lube the end of the wire all the way to the L bend. Even application all the way throughout the L bend here. And then I like to put a slightly thicker application at the end of the wire, where you typically experience what people call ticking or rattle. And I typically apply like a little bulb or whatever at the tip of the wire, just enough to coat it, not too much. If you have too much, it's also going to stick to places and create like sounds that are extraneous. And then that's pretty much enough. So you just carefully insert it back into your stab and you're done. Same thing, other side. The insert is more important in this case, so I like to put that's too much lube on my brush. So I just like putting a little bit of lube on the inside of the insert. Dab on the side is more than enough. I don't do too much of it because I do know that if I do too much lube, it will get sluggish. So I think just addressing the rattle or ticking point of the stab is plenty enough. So same thing as always, just lube the wire, even coat, then grab a little more lube, and I like to put a little bulb, a little bit extra at the end of the wire where you would experience the ticking, and then just clip it right on. And obviously you want to do this several times to test it out and to figure out your technique consistency and how much you're applying to things. But yeah. Anyway, anything new with you guys? Anything you're looking forward to this remaining half of August slash whatever, maybe something in the keyboard world or outside in your life? If there's anything fun that's new for you, feel free to share. If not, it's fine. I did see this morning the whole LTT thing, the thing that's blown up. Crazy stuff. I don't follow too closely. I don't really care too much. I don't follow tech channels or entertainment channels for that matter much. But like, yeah, so I was like seeing the whole thread of tweets, yeah, it's crazy stuff. I mean, I hope that the Linus Media Group you know, figures their shit out and hopefully stops whatever they're doing, which seems to be a lot. But yeah, typically don't meddle much in that, so don't ask me for my opinion. I saw the IC for 21XX. Oh yes, I did see that. Pontus's board, 2100 inspired, cherry inspired board. Keycaps interest check went up today. Looks really cool. Pretty much straight up, great inspiration, and the preserved look is awesome. I am interested in it. I do like what it looks like, and I really like basically it's like a glorified TKL layout with more, with a gigantic case. Unfortunately, with the gigantic case, gonna be pretty expensive. So yeah, if it's too expensive, I probably won't really hop on it. But it'll be cool to see it at like meetups and stuff if it once it happens and ships and all that. But yeah, exciting stuff. LTT was wild. Otherwise, just chilling for once. Oh, nice. Wait, just chilling in terms of like work. Like you're kind of like a lot free these days and stuff. CBA. Oop. Okay. Sucks that my entertainment was so problematic. So it goes. At some point, the entertainment ends. You know, at the end, it is like a show, and the entertainment has to end. It doesn't go on forever. Fun, like, you know, it's like the joke died. But anyway. Hi, John. How's it going? Have you tried the F18X V2? LHN ask or LaChen. No, I have not. Because I have never been sent one. So I have not seen it in person. So I cannot tell you anything about it. If it's anything like the F1, A8X, the V1, it will be well loved, hopefully. And also I think Geonworks has enough design experience and time in the market to understand what people want decently well. Your mic is a bit gainy today, or is it just on my end? It might be that I'm closer to the mic today, but I can check my gain level. Yeah, I can check on it. No, my gain level is the same. I think I'm just closer to the mic today. Might be that usually the mic is slightly further away, so it appears to be more attenuated. Closer, no filter, yeah. The lack of filter certainly helps, and not too much noise right now in the room, so yeah. I don't know why, but I've been paying more and more attention to the Seisero recently, now that it's so close to fulfillment. Yes, I am excited for fulfillment of that. Do you participate in the buy? Shrek has got. Or are you waiting to pick one up like in the aftermarket or somebody else? As long as it doesn't bother others, yeah. Yeah, if you guys feel like the mic is too loud or something, just let me know. Otherwise, you can also just decrease your volume. But if it's too loud, just, you know, let me know. Pretty much if there's anything really that bothers you, can just tell me. If I bother you too much, just my presence, then also tell me. Because no fun doing it for anybody who has no fun with it either, so. Unless self-deprecation's your thing. Unfortunately, didn't join the GB, but might pick one up aftermarket. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool board. Excited for the fulfillment for sure. The colors were nice on that as well. One cool thing is that I've seen a few spots go up on like GB spot selling, trading, whatever. People selling them basically at cost. So if you're going to pick one up, it shouldn't be hard. Ideally, just, you know, finding your preferred combo, color combo, and whatever. Kiwi presence over lightning presence, TBH. Sorry, not sorry. That's understandable. Speaking of Kiwi presence, he is blepping on the couch and very deeply asleep. He does not have a singular care in the world, and he's just sleeping. Which is his favorite pastime. Cat activities. They're very well defined. Sometimes they're a little chaotic though. But still very structured. They know what they're doing. It's all calculated. Okay. Last stab piece. Yeah, you gotta have a favorite colorway Shrek has got. I got a coral wind keyless, pretty sure. I was super tempted to get HKB coral, but I picked one up in in wind keyless form factor. I was super tempted to get some of the other colors, more the neutral colors to BH, but I do have a lot of neutral color boards in general, or neutral color stuff, so I figured I would go for something more fun. And so that was my ultimate choice. Pretty difficult to choose TBH. Some of the other ones were really good. Like I think there was like denim, right? Was there gray, coral? Something like that. I honestly forgot the colors. It's been a while now. But the picks were difficult. Violet was, oh yeah, violet. Right. It's like a purplish color, right? All right. So lubing stabs is done. Charcoal or coral and HKB make me feel some type of way. That's a good choice too. HKB 60, pretty underrated. It's actually a very unpopular choice. So I understand. It's also like one of the best looking. But I mean, I think all 60% look pretty good in general. At least the 7U layouts for my personal opinion about that. I like when keyless, when key, or HKB. They're all pretty good. Variety is the spice of life, I would say, and so you can't go wrong with whichever you decide to pick. But all right, stabs are on. Keepers are nice, yes, yeah. All right, put on the plate, and okay, looks good. Gonna have to test the stabs as well, so let's go ahead and put some switches on. Gonna do 7U, which is the default, and 7U full backspace step caps lock for me. I think my favorite looking is wind key, but HKB is a close second. Fair. I have to say, I actually did not used to dislike wind keyless. I thought it looked silly. I thought a wind keyless 60 was silly. I thought, like, how can you make a 60 wind keyless when the TK looks so much better? Might as well just go wind key or HKB for 60s. And then they kind of grew on me as time went by, but yeah. I think I started appreciating just the compactness of the form factor a little bit more, and so wind keyless kind of like made sense after a while, because it does put the blockers pretty much symmetrically around the center. And and so it looked good. That said, I don't really mind if I get a win key instead of a win keyless, or a HKB instead of a win keyless, or whichever the other way around would be. So I'm not too picky when it comes to 60s, because 60s are like my mainly preferred layout for compactness of the layout, space saving. And then TKLs are, you know, give you that classic look, right? So that like IBM styled look with the wing keyless blockers and everything looks so nice. Yeah, I do think TKL has to be wing keyless. I do agree. Like, I do think TKLs do look good, do look best rather in wing keyless 7U. F12, my personal preference. But win key with 6.25U can look pretty nice too. But never split anything, like no split backspace, no split space bars or shifts or whatever, yada yada, right? None of that stuff on TKLs. I know some people do it. Because they want to type on split backspace, or like, you know, like 1.5U backspace or whatever on the R2 row, but I think it's ugly. And also there's a redundancy in terms of the added key from the split backspace. What do you end up doing with that corner key from that cluster? Like, you already have a tilde, so where does the tilde go? I mean, what do you map to that part now? That kind of stuff. And also it just kind of looks weird. Yeah, exactly. You can just exactly. You can just map the pipe to be backspace. Like, keep all your stabs, map the pipe to be backspace, right? And call it a day. Like, if we have via and vial, right? Like, it's so easy. Why not just do that and go about your day instead of actually splitting the keys, making it look subjectively uglier? Layers are so convenient for me. Only go above a 60 Alice at this point for aesthetics. Yes. 60% is the ideal. Well, I mean, Alice is basically a 60%. I know that some people call the Alice a 65 just because it has those extra 3 keys on the left, which I understand where they're coming from functionally, but it types like a 60. It effectively is a 60 in all other forms of use. So I think the Alice is basically a 60. And yeah, Alice and 60% are my preferred layout for general use. And then anything larger is good for aesthetics for whatever reason, right? Also, I kind of went off on a tangent and never ended up testing the stabs, so let's do that. Anti-TKL is nice. It do be. Oh, hey, Cockaloo. That's a name I've seen, but that I've certainly never seen here. So welcome. Hope you're doing well. This lovely Wednesday evening, finally end of the first half of the week. I was a little surprised it's still just Wednesday, but so it goes. I do not have long pole stabs or whatever today, so hopefully it's not too bad. Usually it turns out okay, to be honest, as long as your keys are properly centered. Okay, seems alright. Yeah, this week's felt very long to me. Very long to me. I had the luck to go out today to eat with some friends. A little bit of that little tick when you hit the side too hard on a long pole with a non-long pole stab. But if I like tap it very lightly on the sides, there's no ticking. So I think it's just the difference of that stab. Oh, spacebar sounds pretty nice though. Shift is fine too. So I think the stabs are good. Are you looking forward to the Lilium by Gog, Diego? Yes, the Lily and the Lilium. I'm excited for both the 60s. I've been waiting for Gog to do the 60% layout, just in general. I know that he's done the Chiwi 60, right? And the Ven was basically 65% old brother, sort of the Chiwi 60 that he did, like his first design a long time ago. But I've been waiting for him to do like his refined version of a 60%, which I'm pretty excited about. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm actually excited for a Type K too. I know that I didn't get to review it or anything, but I saw some of the streams, and just in general, it's a board that's been like in a lot of people's attention for a while, for a long time, the development. And yeah, pretty cool that that's finally happening, right? So kind of exciting to see Gog's projects sort of move forward, which is, I think, a lot of people have been waiting for. I like the 60 win keyless too, but in terms of functionality, I like the 60 win key with the arrow on the lower right. Oh, which is the dilemma. Oh, I see. You do the whole arrow cluster here thing. That's not a first time I hear that. Actually, I believe my partner uses 60% like that. If she can map it that way. And I do know early on when I started in the community, I also had a friend who used to map their 60% like that, where they would put the arrow keys on the basically bottom right cluster with the win key. Oh man, maybe this is the time I need to change my Linus voiceover. in lieu of recent events, maybe today's the time today's the day I change it. I just thought about it. It just reminded me immediately. After this whole time, it was nice to kind of like, I was like, well, it's a very recognizable voice, and it do be cool and all, but now that we're here, and now that it is, well, now that it is August 16 here, and we've had so many things going on, perhaps it would be good to not use that. So, let's see, where can I set that up? Okay, goodbye, Linus. And the default... Who should I default to? You guys like... I don't know. Who should I default to? I don't even know who these people are, but I'm just gonna pick a random one. Don't want to end up with your own version of the Jared from Subway clip? Oh, boy. Yeah. Anyway, Mason with the 25 months. So what is the best custom mechanical keyboard for the fastest gaming possible? You know, get the keyboard. Get a keyboard with the longest pole stem. It will make your switches speedy, according to Cherry MX, by the way, because that's the idea of the speed silver switches, is that the fact that it's basically a short travel, and so therefore you actuate more quickly, and therefore you are a pro gamer now, and your gaming skills improved by 569%. But alas. Anyway, let me go back to read a few things that I think I missed. Have you seen people use Tenyu in a win keyless 60? I have. I mean, I think we did that on the... It's not the Pandora. Was it the No. Was it a Pandora? Anyway, it was like one of the Cube boards. The one with the big knob in the back and the DAC and stuff. I think I did Tenyu on that. Forget the name suddenly. Wooting Pog. Hearing a lot of things about the Wooting board, Hall effect stuff. Pretty cool to see developments on that end too, on that front. I mean, honestly, I feel like it's been a long time since people talked about Hall effect switches, and it's like kind of finally coming about, slowly, but it's happening. I always call the Nalus a 60 because it doesn't have arrow keys. Yeah, exactly. That's the main difference. RDSU is a 65, yes. Hey Diego, Dzom 97 here. Hey Diego, just want a brown Thika. Oh, congrats. Still ponder if I should get it, since some people said the mounting points for top mount are not great. What's your opinion? I do have to say that the top mount positions for the Thika are different from that of the typical Jane V2 Koala plate mount, whatever, right? Which a ton of people follow for top mount. Just because it kind of like just works, right? That said, I did enjoy the Thika with the top mount more than the gasket, I think. And I also think it was not that bad of an experience, honestly. Like, I wouldn't call it bad, and it was just different, which is fine. I mean, I also use boards that have much stiffer mounting points, and honestly, it's okay. That said, it depends on whether you actually care that much. I think it turned out to be that I don't care nearly as much, but I do know some people get really up and personal about it. It's like, it gotta be perfect kind of thing. But I happen to not care as much, so I personally think the Thika is more so valuable for its unique anodizing color, for the artistic collaboration it has with the Rubber Hose brand, right? And yeah, like, it's kind of like more of the look, less of the function. And I think as far as the plate, the plate mounting points itself goes, it's not that big of a deal. I don't think it's that big of a deal. So yeah. Also, is this the right place for DCS Live Beats? Yes, DCS Live Beats, the right place here. So for those of you who don't know, I am running a very, very small kind of like micro buy. It's actually like an old school style micro group buy, where I'm literally just collecting funds, paying an invoice at cost or whatever, and getting a bunch of keycaps, sorting them to individual people, and sending them out when they are here. But basically, I'm doing this little buy for kits that I dubbed DCS Life Beats, because it's basically like a replacement, spacebar replacement kit in ABS plastic for DCS Dead Beats, which came with PBT spacebars and PBT keycaps in general, which turned out to not be too good because of the whole PBT shrinkage kind of issue. And so I am getting some ABS stuff in a plastic color that's as close as possible to the PBT, and we're collecting orders right now. It's in my server, in my Discord server. You should be able to find the announcements as well, but yeah, I didn't really make it too publicized or anything because I don't need it to be a big deal. We've hit demo keys that I think are reasonable to reach, and so don't really need to like make it big. Oh, you guys are talking about HKB JP. Those Gadron lacquer switches. Yeah. Hall effect, I mean, because it's basically like nothing in there, right? So I guess the wobble is inevitable in a way. Yeah, I'm too used to regular HKB to possibly use JP layout myself, but to each their own kind of thing. Alright, let's get soldering here. Because I don't have my filter on, gonna be a little loud. So just FYI. JIS is a weird layout, yeah. When I first joined the hobby, I was like, why would anyone want an HKB? Yeah, when I first saw an HKB at a meetup, I also thought the same. I was like, how do I even type on this, and why is it that people like it that much? It only made sense to me after I got one myself and used it for... It took me like weeks to get used to it. Because of the control as caps thing and the arrow keys. Super hard to use at first. I was like, oh my god, I cannot do this. But it got a lot better over time, and then now it's like I can't use a 60% without having HKB arrows, for example. Like, I mean, well, I can, but it's like I would rather have them. And Caps' control is like a functional necessity. Like, I genuinely will do whatever it takes to get Caps' control on every single keyboard I ever will type on, even if it's like OEM stuff at work or whatever. If I can afford to do something like carabiner elements, or like auto hotkey or whatever it is, or even just going to the settings and changing it, I will do it. It's preferable. But Caps' control is like muscle memory now that I cannot shake off. So I do think, I do tell people like HKB changed my views on how to type and how to use modifiers specifically. And I don't think I'll ever go back or ever revert back to the original state of it. Probably need a fume extractor. I saw it outside, still like breathing the fumes. Yeah, it depends. I mean, if you have air blowing, towards you, even if you're outside, like, it won't matter. The fume extractor is not like it's that strong to actually direct air currents here, but it is nice to have it next to you if possible, at least to minimize the long-term exposure. Because, yeah, exposure to the flux and the lead and whatever is not a short-term effect anyway. Like, there are people who have soldered their entire lives without one and they're fine. But some people who have seen the effects of it is because it's long-term too. Either way, can't ever hurt, so might as well. Caps control is heavy. I recently changed my arrow keys on my 60s to be, yeah, HKB arrows. Yeah, I cannot go back to non-HKB like 60%. It's just, it's a must. Like, right split shift, right? Like, it's a godsend. And if I don't have right split shift, so the other day or the other week or 2 weeks ago, I found an AND Pro 2 at work, and obviously I looked into it and I found out that the AND Pro 2 is actually programmable. They have software that allows you to actually reprogram keys, like remap keys on the board, which was amazing. And well, it is standard poker 60 layout, so win key 60% with 6.25U, bottom row, standard caps lock, and no split anything, right? Like full backspace, full right shift, full left shift, whatever, right? And so what I do is I map my function layer on right control, because I never use right control anyway, right? So I just basically shift one over, so right control goes onto the, I think, FN key, and then the layer key goes to the bottom right corner, and then everything else is basically like a 7U 60% win key, right? And you know, map all the HKB like stuff onto the layer below the main cluster. Super nice. I'm very much looking forward to Gawk Lily HKB. Very beautiful. That may be my first HKB board. Yeah, no, I really like the prototype pictures that Gawk put up. Yeah, no. Exciting to see progress in his projects. And it certainly won't be anytime soon that we see quick progression on the other ones, but it will be very fun to see them actually getting done in the near future. And it is kind of cool that it's restricted to the layout. It is restricted to HKV layout, I believe. I might be wrong, but I think that's right. I think it was designed to that with that in mind, with the layout, with the aesthetics of the layout in mind. It's also superb. It kind of maximizes the return for what you get when you already like the layout. It's like, oh, this, like, not only is this my favorite layout, but also the case was designed around it, and so kind of feels like the design's perfectly polished. Where's the link lead to? I haven't clicked. Oh, the lily. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks so good. It looks so good. Yeah, HKV 60% dedicated. It's awesome. Alright, one more row to solder and we'll be done shortly. Lilium will bring me out of retirement. You're in retirement, Timmy? I didn't even know you were. But, I mean, that's a good thing, though. Retirement means money saved and also not having to worry about pretty much anything and just get to spectate and have fun while enjoying whatever you already have. So, congrats on retirement. And it's not like I don't see you online, so it's retirement from purchasing, which is great. It's the best kind of retirement, right? Don't get to lose your friends, just get to hang out, not purchase, not worry about anything like that. Being chilling, so to speak. I own 4 keyboards, very satisfied. Nice. What you end up keeping at the end of the day? Oh, there's the 4 that you posted last time, right? Those are all very nice boards. So, very cool. Very cool. Blue-gray lily looks very cool. Yeah. It's just a meme, I'm broke? Oh, you are. Okay. I thought you actually meant the retirement part. That would have been, I mean, that is nice. So you just retire. Off topic for a sec. Buy more money, problem solved. Yeah. Well, linear stitches would be best for my full brass Hero SE if I want to retain a deep and rich sound signature of it. This is a highly subjective question. The main reason being that I am told deep, rich sound signature, but what I have heard of people define that to be, like what people consider deep, rich sound, is so different. And so, like, maybe it's just something about the brass piece that you like a certain sound that it creates, perhaps. But I personally like full travel linear switches. So it starts from a Cherry MX Black that's been fully modded, so lubed, films, spring swap with lubed springs, and probably goes into other choices. Like there's like a lot of the JWK line. You have these AF Lion, Zapsity branded Wisteria if you like long pole switches, or you can have this kind of choice. But there are a lot of options out there now. There's like tons of Gateron switches, right? GAT switches among my favorite personally, like Milky Top Yellows or GAT X, super nice. Pretty much any variation of those are really good. full travel switches. I mean, I did use like alpacas and that kind of stuff. I still do, actually. I do have still like some silks, NK silks or alpacas and similar switches like that on several of my builds. So I do also enjoy those switches. So you may want to experiment. The easiest way for you to experiment, if you already have the switches, like a full batch of switches, like the 65% coverage of switches, is pop them into the plate. Pop them onto the plate. Don't solder. Like if it's pop them onto the plate. If you have the PCB, obviously with the PCB ideally, and try it. You don't have to solder. You don't have to fully attach it, but and then you can like mix it up, try different ones. But if it's hot swap, then you know you already get the advantage of being able to swap. So might as well just give it a shot. All right, so all done. Let us put this into the board, I guess. Vertex V1s, the Vertex V1s were pretty nice. I think the only thing about the Vertex V1s, if I recall, was that they had a bit of leaf paint to them, which some people are sensitive to and some people aren't at all. But I do recall having a little bit of that, like kind of like a leaf crunch. But they're pretty good, pretty darn good factory lubed switches that you really don't have to mod. Unless you're like sensitive to things like the leaf paint. So yeah, I know it's a disfavored question. Well, it's not really disfavored, but it's fine to ask. If you could only keep 3 boards, what would they be? I think I have the answer to that. That would be probably my most sentimental boards. So that would most likely be one HKB, an HKB Pro or whatever. Probably my mini V1, my OTD mini V1, which is sentimental for the reason that I obtained it through a friend. Was like a nice gesture from them, and the board that I chased for a long time, and it's a 60%, so I can use it. It has a layout that I want mapped to it. It's pretty nice. It is not 7U, which is kind of unfortunate, but it still looks fine. And then lastly, I'm kind of torn. It might be a TKL like the Jane V2, which also my specific Jane V2 has sentimental value. I had the very fortune of having UT build it for me, and that was really nice, super nice gesture. Just like connected with him well, and it was just super sweet of him to offer, and you know, a lot of sentimental value around that. I also have a lot of sentimental value around, for example, my Iron Rogue. It was a gift from Mr. Poner, and he's been a very, very good friend with me in the community for the past 6 years. And so, yeah, that's also a lot of sentimental value right there. And so it's kind of tough. But I think that's probably my answer. Probably. I'll keep something that has more so than the usage of the boards. I actually don't think I care that much about like how amazing the board is. I think I care a little bit more about what it means to me, which in this case is going to be something like that. Alright, I remember, if I recall correctly, these pads should be installed. Location wise, I'm just gonna base them kind of similar to what I did when I had my thermal. It is, I believe it's slightly different from the 65, of course. But I'm gonna probably just put them around the screw holes here. If I can recall, it's on the top piece. Alright, so I think maybe using my tweezers will be good here. Oh, nice. That was a very interesting context and choice. Yeah. I think sentimental value will matter more to me than anything else. So, yeah. Wilba Salvation. Ooh, very nice. It's also... Okay, so one thing about tray mounts, so another board that I haven't mentioned, that I really have a very... like an affinity to, is a duck poker. It's a very standard 60% case. It's just silver case, poker mount. So like it uses the standard, like, you know, anywhere from 4 to 6 like mounting positions for the tray, right? That you can just use with literally like any 60% PCB and whatnot. I got this case because I just really like the little like cart suit engraving in the back, and just thought it was like a little nice little board. And so tray mounts are super underrated, and I personally think unfairly criticized, at least to the extent where I think they can be tweaked so much. They have the flexibility of you can tweak. You can go PCB mount only. You can go plate, half plate. You can go full plate. You can change all the different materials, right? I mean, it's similar to other boards, but the versatility of tray mount is something that is very underrated, or at least nowadays, where we have so many options for custom boards that are not, well, tray mount. I do think it's, and especially with the availability of hot swap, it's been minimized a lot. Personally, I do still have a soft spot for tray mount boards in general. I think they're pretty underrated. The cuts and the angles really captivate me. Nice. Nice, nice. And I do think the Salvation is a very cool board. Specifically because it introduced a new system entirely to visualizing tray mount that, well, nobody else really did. And it worked out in an interesting way. I do think a lot of Wilba's designs tend to be very, they have like strong facets in to some extent, whether that may be angles or things like the thermal here, right? The Zephyr also has a pretty strong design language, so to speak, with that 4.8mm plate. Right. Why tray mounts are not as attractive as other mounting styles, though? Because they are considered to be, they're perceived as, while convenient, while very convenient to like quickly swap out entire builds, I think there's a lot of glorification around like top mount, and then as a result of developing boards, gasket mount as well, right? So it's more so that tray mount was considered closer to like OEM, to like things that you can just buy off the shelf, right? Because if you go and want a 60%, the recommendations that you get are effectively OEM tray mounts, like the Poker 3, Poker 2, the And Pro, blah blah blah, right? And so there's an association of tray mount with readily accessible OEM boards instead of custom, like custom mix. And so it basically kind of diminished a lot of the merits of tray mount, I would say. Because my favorite streamer would never lie to me when they say tray mount bad, leaf spring, O-ring, gasket, tapple, bestest. Yeah, for real, for sure. Sure. Diego, have you seen the Hebe board that's a tray mount 60, but the case itself is silicon? The June? Yes, I have. I haven't seen it in person, by the way. But I've seen like all the Hebe posts and whatnot, and some other people post their own photos and stuff on like Insta and stuff. I've seen it. Pretty cool, pretty interesting. I actually would be I would be interested in trying it. I've also been eyeing that Hero board from Hebe as well, the 60% that they're having a pre-order for. That one's also pretty cool, IMO. I also had an eye on that. Right now, I'm not in the market for boards. I like ideally would try not to spend money, but definitely super cool looking. And so, yeah. Alright, let's get these daughter board screws as well. How hard is it to solder back a JST connector? Oh, it depends. Is it ripped off? You'll have to first assess if it's ripped off or not. If it ripped off any pads, or like if it actually looks like it exposed stuff, and some stuff it's like hard to see because probably got ripped with the little thin copper piece on the connector, then you probably are done for. Like you probably have to get a new PCB. But if everything's intact relatively, soldering back stuff should not be too bad. You do need a steady hand. So there's that. JSC is not super hard if it's intact, but I don't know what the condition of yours is like right now. Raddies, hello. Feels like the amount of keyboard projects has slowed. Yes, it has, because the economy has slowed. That's why it's slowed. Keyboard projects are slowed because the economy is slow. There is definitely a smaller amount of demand, a much smaller amount of demand right now, and also just overall people not wanting to spend as much on hobbies. There's not as many things to buy that interest a lot of people. A lot of the people who entered the hobby for revamping, like, you know, for vamping their setup, getting their setup all done nicely during the pandemic, are gone, or they're done with it. They did what they had to do and they left. So there's not as many people from that era essentially to buy. The people who have been around a long time don't feel the need to buy because they kind of have seen it all in a way. And yeah, it's just slowed down a bit. Vendors alike, like it's slowed down. It can be a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, it can be a very negative consequence for a lot of, well, for pretty much any vendor, you know, because, well, finances, the flow of money goes down. It can cause trouble financially, but I would say hopefully not to the level that it's catastrophic, but yeah, I mean, it can be fatal for some businesses. So hopefully they're doing okay. And yes, the aftermarket would also be slow thanks to that. Yes, it's good for the hobby. You don't want to have a huge bubble explode. That is true. I mean, we technically kind of had a bubble explode. Like the whole Mexico thing is kind of a bubble exploding in a way, or like a bubble of trouble exploding in their faces in a way, right? And so there's a lot of you know, there's like a lot of negative rhetoric around the whole vendorship issue, and like there's a lot of talk around the whole group buy thing, right? Which is important to talk about, right? It is very, very important to talk about. It is good for people to know and do their due diligence and do the research and understanding how things work and the risks associated. But at the same time, if you are a hobbyist, if you are someone who wants to kind of support the community by participating, then if you want to support your community's growth in a way, you also have to, you know, participate in things that, you know, your vendors might be doing, as long as the practices are safe and sound financially or logically, logistically. And yeah, I would say a lot of people have gone picky now that we have so many options. Now that we have a lot of options, people are pickier, right? Because people are like, oh, where's the innovation? Where's the crazy case? You know, the Geist machine, the angry meow. I don't know, right? Like something out there, the Matrix Lab. I don't know. And so yeah, or you know, like the Salvation. Oh, that was pretty new when it came out. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's just the natural flow for things to slow down and to pick back up later on, and I'm sure it'll pick back up sooner than later, right? Just don't know when exactly. Oops, sorry about that. I've never seen the backside of a thermal. Yeah, quite angular case. This is the Thermal Plus. The Thermal Plus is a 65%. The Thermal 60%. The regular thermal has these fins, grills, whatever on the sides, on the two sides of the 60%. On the 65% has it on the top. This like hair comb kind of thing. It does look very cool. It's a design that I personally really like. It looks super nice. Nothing financially right now is coming out of us. Literally. Nice quote though. I keep forgetting to contact banks about my Mexican code chargebacks. My chargebacks didn't work out. I failed my chargebacks. They declined them, and the money's gone for me. Unfortunately, I did not have the luck to get my chargebacks sorted out properly, or you know, favorably rather. So, I mean, I only had one chargeback, so at least it's not too bad. There's just one key set that I failed to recover my funds for. But so it goes. So it goes. I assumed the risk and failed to recover from it. What set was it? I got what was it called? GMK Arctic is what I got. GMK Arctic. Yeah. Wonder if there are any projects aimed at adding haptics to the keep. I think, wasn't there that RMK post once? I saw someone doing this big kind of screen, basically keyboard. Don't know if that ever went anywhere. That might have included some haptic feedback. Yeah, I remember seeing something like that, but I don't know what the deal was. All right, folks. So we're currently built up. Boards ready. What key set shall we put on this? Ignore the color of the switches because it's very purple relative to this nice, nice creamy soya colored Thermal Plus. What key set will look good on this? I mean, something beige could be nice. Something else could be nice. I don't know. What do you guys think? In the meantime, let's get to test this out. Just gotta test the keys here. Oh wait, did I plug it in? Huh. It plugged in. Where's my... Oh, it just didn't show up on VIA. Sandstorm? Oh, Sandstorm's a good set. Oh, here it is. Alright, let's test Matrix. Nice. Okay, everything's working. It's good. Mudbeam might be lit. Ooh, that would be kind of a nice choice, actually. Mudbeam, CRP, good choices. Umka, ooh, that's also a good set. How many Mastodon caps do you enter for, Mr. Lightning? This sale is gonna be financial ruin for me. I haven't entered anything yet. Ooh, Apiary with the raid. Hello. Hi, Marcia. How's it going? How goes it? Alright, shall we make a poll here? So hi Raiders, so I'm building this Thermal Plus. And I am building this with these Wisteria V2 switches from Zap City. And we just built it up, but haven't picked a key set. And I'm gonna do a little poll here. So you can... I'm going to have to go, but have so much fun, please. Oh, I hope you feel better, Marcia. Thank you so much for the raid and for stopping by. I hope you do feel better soon enough. It sucks being sick, especially when the weather is nice out. So, feel better. And thank you again for the raid. Go rest up. Alright. CRPC 64 is a great choice, but I don't have it. So unfortunately, I have to do a pass on it. I'm gonna poll for a few of the options that people suggested. Was beige. It must be beige, someone said. Key set for Thermal Plus. Beige, whether that's GMK or CRP. Umka. Sandstorm, all pretty solid choices. Mudbeam, that was also a pretty nice choice actually. And those are pretty good. So I'm gonna let you guys pick. So go ahead and vote for me, please. I'll mail you my C64 set, just keep streaming until it gets there. Yeah, keep streaming for 3 business days. Every time I watch a Thermal Plus build, I want to get one myself. It is a pretty hot board, I have to say. I really like these fins, right, or whatever you want to call it. Heat sink aesthetic, but yeah. Both I like the Thermal more than the Thermal Plus personally because I am a 60% person. But the 65 still looks pretty hot. I got this in Soya because it was a board color I didn't have. I typically would have gone something more boring, although my Thermal actually is red, like a striking red. So there's that. So I guess both my Wilba boards are pretty adventurous in terms of color. Although I guess red is more common though. Captain Mike dislike that. Yeah, I mean I know that he has a lot of black boards, right? And he has some of those Cerakote ones. I'll vote for a set that I would like to see. I don't know which one I probably... I think this would be kind of nice. So, let's see. Vote. Alright, there. Oh man, these would just feel really nice. They do feel like they're hand lube, so... I like them a lot. I do really wish this was non-long pull. Making me really want a non-long pull version of this. Zepsody, if you're still around, a light tactile, hand loop, but only the sides, no front. No front, no back, no touching legs, no touching leaf. Just the sides would be pretty good too. Although I guess with tactiles you do face the issue of the leaf ping thing, but it would be nice. Light tactile, full travel. Yes, I don't like how every switch is basically some long pull. The long pull era of switches reminds me of the JWK Recolor era, where every switch was basically like an alpaca, but different colors. Like a Durock switch, right? That was like what it was for a while. They don't like it. They don't like it either. Alright, so let me go ahead and pick a beige set. I think I want to try some ABS on this. So I'm gonna see GMK. I think I got some got some. I think I have Cyrillic Beige. So actually, let me go grab that. Cyrillic Beige. I have it around here. Just buy Cherry Gaddon and ignore everything else. I mean, that's pretty much what I do for the most part. Although, if a hand-lubed switch that I could just buy right off like a start front, and me not having to do anything to it and use it and like it, would be really good. Also, for those who came from the raid from Marcia, if you do stay tuned in, I might have something nice for you. But I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with Cyrillic Beige, a set I got a little while back and haven't put on anything, I think. So let's put it on here. I think that's the Zuyin add-on. Alright. Cyrillic Beige. Should look good. I mean, standard beige will look fine on this Soya build, naturally. Can't go wrong with it, to be honest. This Soya colorway is Anno? No. Pretty sure it's E-coat. I mean, I don't think you can get Anno in this. I don't think you can get Anno in this color. Not like this. Pretty sure it's a form of E-coat. It's gotta be, so I wouldn't question it. From Durama, the milk and soya additions are electrophoresis coated. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, good sir, for the confirmation. Yeah, I mean, I figured. I can't imagine this being Anno. Otherwise, people will be talking about it all the time. Or have done it a lot, too. Before, like, eco became even a popular thing. Cap is cap, shake my head. Shake my SMH, my bad. Shake my SMH. Oh, Cyrillic Beige is a nice set. Double shot Cyrillic. So pretty nice. Everything's double shot, no pat print. Although I'm excited to see that there's Karma's WAP Cyrillic. WAP Red Cyrillic too, right? The one that ran through space cables. Hopefully that's arriving to space cables soon and stuff. It's also a nice Nice colorway. Are Cherry and Gateron really that solid? Yeah, I mean they've been around for a long time, and a lot of they're beloved by a lot of people. They're certainly older than a lot of the other brands that you know, JWK, Durock, etc. Like JWK and Durock are basically the same, and they were an offshoot of, I believe, people working at Gateron. So yeah, so yeah, they've been around basically. So reliability is definitely their strong suit because of their time in developing their switches. Funnily enough, Gateron was criticized at the beginning for being essentially a Cherry clone. Now we don't criticize them because we have so many options from them that we like, and it's a bit of a history that's been just kind of ignored over the years. But yeah, I mean we all kind of went through the whole pointing at each other. All right, so there's WAP, Cyrillic. I mean, no, not WAP. Cyrillic Beige. My bad. Cyrillic Beige. And let's put some artisans on this. Diego, what's your ETA? Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? All right. I have an idea what I want to put on. I want to put on this. I've been wanting to put this Smoko set here on a board, and I think this one's perfect for it. So I'm gonna put it on here as a 3-cap combo, and then I think it would be cool to put this BBW here. I don't love it on this side. Maybe on this side. Nice little gold accento. And maybe to cap off the gold, we can do the Orlan. It's an Eugene song. I misread the room. Oh, I'm sorry, Cap. I wouldn't have caught it because I don't follow K-pop nearly as much. I know the catchy songs, but I don't remember them. You know what I mean? Like, don't know the lyrics and don't remember them. And I end up not getting the references, which is pretty sad. It makes me feel like a boomer, which I basically am, in the world of me not keeping up with any pop anyway. Like, if you tell me name a Taylor Swift song of the recent year, I can't tell you. Genuinely. Because I just don't keep up. Diego's an OG Tiara sugar-free kind of guy. Yeah, kinda. Alright, let's try this out. This is exciting. Ooh, Zebzody with the 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, I'm excited for this. For many reasons, but mainly that I actually do like my first impression of these switches was like, oh, this is nice. So I'm kind of excited to try it out, and also I do like the thermal in general, the design of the thermal. So this is something that I've been excited to try out. Oh, look at that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put the mic over. Alright, here we are. Let's turn off the music. And let me just check chat before I start. But what music do I listen to casually? I typically listen to a lot of game music. I listen to a lot of, nowadays I'm into that like math rock, J-pop, J-rock phase. I listen to a lot of that. I listen to like, you know, like Ghibli, like orchestral, that kind of stuff. I tend to listen to a lot of symphonic adaptations of game music, among others. Movie scores, things like that. I like that kind of stuff. I used to be a lot into like taiko, so I listen to like world music, that kind of stuff a lot too. Kind of obscure stuff, but it's like more in the world music, instrumental kind of scene. So sometimes it's like jazz adjacent stuff. So stuff with no lyrics for the most part. And then if I want to listen to like pop, or if I want to listen to pretty much anything else, I'll just go and find a playlist like on Spotify. Like I'll go to the genre and I'll pick one of the playlists and I'll just play it. Man, I'll just enjoy it. So I'm not too picky when it comes to music. I listen to like pretty much everything. But yeah, I think if it's like a go-to nowadays, I would say like, yeah, there's a lot of like game music. There's a lot of like instrumental. There's a lot of stuff like that. Used to be like a big into I had my little like drum and bass phase. Used to have a little bit of my trance head phase too, and like popular EDM stuff for a bit. That was more like in college, but not anymore. So yeah. Let's see. All right, let's give it a shot. Though it's time to type. All right, here we go. So today we have this wonderful Thermal Plus. And this is currently paired with these Zepsity switches, Zepsity Wisteria V2 switches, which are these wonderful hand lubricated switches, long pole switches on an aluminum plate. We have GMK Cyrillic Beige from Canon Keys. I think the design is by Mr. Tom, and we're gonna give it a shot. All right, let's do some typing. Here we go. So there it is. Pretty nice sound. Pretty typical sound for long pole. I can tell that a lot of the kind of like signature of the thermal design is coming out, which tends to be slightly luminous into the case, and the aluminum plate has a like this kind of like more clacky kind of sound signature, brighter tone sound signature. And of course with the long pole, I think that's going to be a little bit more exacerbated. But it sounds good. One thing I do notice is that the switches are really smooth. They pretty much are no different from other hand loop switches that I've tried. Another thing is don't really feel much wobble to them. And finally, it's that don't really hear much like leaf ping, leaf crunch kind of, or spring crunch kind of like extraneous noise, which is sometimes a little worrisome from some like stock switches, but don't really feel or hear it much here. So yeah, if you hear like some small vibrations, might be like the stab, or maybe the fact that this is a long pole with non-long pole stabs technically, so you might hear a little bit of tick or something like that on the side sometimes. But yeah, it's, I think other than that, it's a pretty nice switch. Here are the mods. PC is on. Alright, so that's what they sound like. What do you guys think? Guys have any thoughts? Comments? If not, it's okay. But sounds pretty good. I like them. I personally like them. Yeah, and beige is obviously the natural choice for this board. It just looks good on it. That's it. I think like the other choice that people were suggesting, Sandstorm, and a few other ones. I think like Foundation might look good on this. A Classicer, that other set that Oblotsky ran, would look on this. Would look good on this too. There's some like Mudbeam also, which has a darker theme. Would also look good, but I do like the brighter look of the current beige setup, so I dig it. Might just leave it like this for now. Very thwompy. Very thwompy. Very cream pea to me. Clocky even. Takey talky. Cyrillic slabs, the sharp lines go with the thermal fins. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, the sub-legends and the overall aesthetic, especially with the black plate through the fins, I think goes well with the black legends, and so they complement each other really nicely. So I do agree with you on that. Yeah. Okay. So alright. So that's pretty much the build, but if you guys have any other things to ask, you can feel free. But yeah, my overall impression of these Wisteria switches, really good. If you are into long pole switches and you don't want to mess with them, like you don't want to bother with the whole like lubing and filming and all that stuff, perfect weighting, 62 gram. I mean 57, 62, basically somewhere in between. If you're like a light typist, this is pretty good. And honestly, it doesn't really get better than this. As far as the quality of the hand lubrication and just like bang for the buck if you're getting it and you don't have to waste time modding. Really good. Personally recommend. Color is nice. And I do hope that there is a standard non-long pole release in the future, but this is pretty good. That said, sometimes when I think of this had to be done in the factory, like hand loop switches, it kind of feels awful in my heart a little bit. I'm like, it weighs on me a little bit that somebody has to lube these pieces by hand and put them together for metal and plastic wasteful enthusiasts like ourselves. I mean, I'm being slightly sarcastic, but at the same time, it kind of does. Just you know how tedious lubing is, so it makes me a little uneasy sometimes. I'm like, damn, that's hard work. Anyway, hopefully they're compensated okay with it, but you know. Yeah. Trying them out is the only way. Yeah, do try them out if you are interested in them. And yes, if you're considering cherry switches, like Cherry MX Blacks, absolutely spring swap. Even if the weighting is perfect, even if the weighting is lighter, Cherry MX springs are notorious for being inconsistent, crunchy, sort of like not sounding good stock. They're very dry, like they don't have any oil in them or anything. So yeah, Cherry MX, like completely brand new stock Cherry MX switches in general, actually even if they're old, but the stock springs suck. Absolutely swap. And if you have to open the switch, you have to also apply films, because Cherry MX switches also tend to get very loose after you open them once. So I would recommend just TX or desk keys films or whatever it is that you like to use, but also switch films for your switches, for your Cherry switches. Gateron, I rarely use switch films, but there are times when if I do feel like they have that housing wobble from top and bottom housing, then I apply films, but it's rare. Much rarer than Cherry MX. Do you like regular 65? 1.5, 1.57, 1.5, or this thermal bottom row layout? Ooh. I think I don't mind whichever, because, so for example, one layout that would bother me for my personal use if it's a 65 is anything that has an exploded aero cluster. The reason for that is that the exploded aero cluster shifts. There's an offset between the main row and the main bottom row and the rest of the aero cluster, so it basically is slightly off, and that actually throws me off when I reach out for the arrow keys. So as long as the arrow keys are on that bottom right hand corner of the board, it's all good. So that's why 75%, 65% with this compact layout are okay. And even with the blocker, I rarely miss between this control key and this 1.5 key and this 1U left arrow key. I rarely miss that, because I basically, like, my homing is like going to the bottom right corner. Same with the TKL, right? You go to the bottom right corner of the board and you use the arrows, right? So I rarely erroneously hit these keys. Not to mention, this key usually doesn't do anything because it's just a layer key for me usually. So at the end of the day, having the blocker or not having it doesn't matter. Aesthetically, I think the blocker might have better separation, but after a while of seeing every single 65% have the blocker and then seeing this 1.5U only 7U bottom row is super refreshing. So like looking at this thermal plus right now for me is really nice, because it's been so long since I've seen 1.5U only modifier 7U bottom row, like you know, this compact style. Like, it's not often that you see this, and so it feels refreshing, it feels nice. There are times when the left side here throws me off a little, but it's rare. Like, once I get used to it, it's pretty quick. Why is your favorite keyboard? Why is it filled with holy pandas on the brass plate with GMK Oblivion and a Shishi on Escape? I know. Actually, sorry, I just have my GMK color rings here. Just fell off from the shelf. Yeah, how can you achieve maximum thok with those? All right. For those who were waiting from the raid, if you are still here, you are lucky. If you're not, that's okay. You may be still lucky, because I am about to give away something. So today I'm going to be giving away a keyboard. Why am I giving it away? Because I feel like giving it away. I'm giving away a board that we built before. It's called the Zone X75, the Iqnix board that I recently built. It's gonna give it away in the spirit of giving away something nice, and also just because I figure someone else will have better use for it. It's the same build that I had it with, so lubed and filmed pen U switches, so I can get the board. And yeah. Oh, there's an ad break going, but whatever. All right, so let me go get the board. It's like right there. I know that a lot of people here might not need it, the board, but if there's like any newbies or any folks in the chat who have been wanting a 75%, this is your chance. Alrighty, so do you move out of your old place? Yes, I did move. I basically moved twice. I once to move out of my old place back in May, and then once to move to my current place in the middle of July. So yeah, I did just move. I did just move, basically. It's fairly recent. Yeah. Okay, so this is the board that we built a while back, the Iqnix Zone X75, and we have it built here with a hot swap PCB and with FR4 plate and the stock stabs that it comes with, obviously lubed, and this has these long pole PNU switches. Comes with a knob and everything. This can be set up on the wireless or wired or dongle. It has an included cable and everything. It's really nice. But yeah, gonna be giving this away if you guys would like to participate. I'll be giving it away through, I'll say marbles. I think marbles is the most fun way to do this. I will say, the only thing will be that you just need to pay for shipping. So, just pay for shipping, and it's all yours. So, let's go ahead and boot up Marbles on Stream. So, just waiting for this to open, and we'll get to it. Chat's on the quieter side today, especially because it's such a late night on a weekday. But let's see. It's taking a while. Waiting for, I guess, my Steam client to load. But once it's up, it'll be good to go. Huh. Why is it taking so long? Alright, there we go. Huh. Oh, I see. Oh. 2FA. Updating maybe? Yeah, I think so. I think it was just updating the background. Alright, there. It's done. Marbeson stream. Cool. Waiting for the game to open up. I think. Yeah. Oh, it's updating too. Sorry. Man, that's a fat update. It's okay. And that's pretty fast, so it should be pretty quick. Alright. Is this GMK Cyrillic? Yeah, this is GMK Cyrillic Beige, yeah. It's the one that shipped this year, relatively recently. S Soda 55 with the 36. Sheesh. Why, thank you. Oh, that's right, you changed your name. Ah, there it is, my update. Alright, I think this is done finally. It's just like takes a while, huh? Oh yeah, don't update that. Home and marbles and should be working. Why is it not showing up? I wonder. Reminds me of the Spectrum moment days. Oh, because it got like slow. Did breakfast still be slapping? Lately, I've been on that. I mean, morning coffee, of course, and then I've been on that Trader Joe's hash brown kick. So I'll like heat up a hash brown and then put on the skillet and get it nice and crispy. Then like maybe an egg or something on the side, you know. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Oh, I see. It's not opening on this. Why is this being weird, eh? Oh, I see. Okay. Steam being weird. Running install script. Okay. Yeah, it's weird, but my marbles is not opening up. Or at least it's like having trouble. Do I have to just do it the old-fashioned way? I want to do marbles though. Hash brown and oh yeah, heavy AF for a breakfast. Ooh, I mean, it's so good though. It's so good. Oh, there it is. Marbles on stream. Finally. Took a while to run. All right. How do I? There you go. There you go. Alrighty, let's go to race profile. All good. Okay, race community maps. Let's get some of those. Can you guys hear that music from the game? Yeah, you probably can. I hope it's not too loud. The gray air fan from the new raffle will look so good on the thermal. Ooh, you won. I did not win. Well, I'm a little jealous, but congrats. Alright, time to put marbles on the screen. Alright, there it is. Alright, sick. Let me make it a little smaller though. Alright, let's oh yeah, no. Let's just do a random race, but let's do, I don't know. Something random that looks fun. Maybe a race that's not too short. Bothersome ballistic break. 3-minute race. That's not too bad. Alright, let's do this. Alright, folks. So, exclamation play to join if you want to join. If you guys did not hear or did not listen, you have to pay for shipping, okay? You have to pay for shipping to win, okay? I mean, to get this, okay? So if you're international, it might be costly because it's a heavy box, but it's still gonna be cheaper than an actual keyboard to buy. So, and maybe you'll get it, yeah. You might get it pretty quickly, but yeah. So it's gonna be this Iqnix ZX or Zone X75 board that I recently built, and yeah. So yeah, exclamation play to join if you're interested in joining. Again, you are participating for a giveaway of a keyboard that you pay for the shipping. If you're in the US, it probably is between 20 and 30 bucks, I'm gonna assume. If you're abroad, it will range heavily, but I'm assuming it won't be any less than 50 because it's expensive to ship abroad, but there might be some cheaper alternatives. Yeah, we'll see. There's only, the chances are very good here. There are only 11 people. I'll join myself for fun. So yeah, exclamation play to join for an Iqnix Zone X75, whose group buy actually ends like today, I think, or ended maybe yesterday. Anyway, your chances are very good here with 15 people in the race. So yeah, I'll give it like, I'll give it 45 more seconds, and we're gonna just get started. Oh, you're out of time. Alright, let's go. 19 people in the race. Ratty somehow with this gigantic boost. I have no idea how, but other people are falling right into it really quickly. Flying Bananas and Ewan going quickly into the tube. I see Ewan leading here in the race with Flying Bananas following right behind. We got Ewan and Flying Bananas here, tumbling around these little squares. Flying Bananas, but Rad Eads goes right around them and gets stuck actually. But Shona is alive. Shona somehow makes it down there, but Ewan actually breaks through from the top track. So Ewan, let's follow Ewan here. Ewan might win another keyboard from me. I believe they did win a keyboard some time ago from me, but Ewan here leading the front on the tubes with Holly Monka quickly following, Nebby and Rat Eats on the other side. Shona is kind of here getting stuck in the pegboard here where they could be yeeted, but Ewan just kind of quickly going through everything here with no dangers in sight, with Nebby quickly falling right behind. D's on 97 coming out here in the back, but they're about to get stuck in that obstacle course. So Nebby and Holly Monka, Radiates following right behind. D's I think they just made it out, and they're getting here stuck at the Y intersection with Radiates following. Ooh, quickly taking the boost and going down the yeet board. Here, Holly Monka, Nebby, looks like Ewan got stuck back there somehow. And Radiates and Nebby are like really close here. Looks like Nebby took the boost, but Radiates gets stuck with that obstacle. Nebby going right behind Nox. Umbra died somehow there, it just kind of fell. Nebby, Holly Monka, and Rad Eats. Rad Eats somehow takes the front and takes the boost. Holly Monka falling right behind Nebby. And Ratty's trying to get out of this little snowflake obstacle and quickly taking the turning point boost. These I think got boosted off, unfortunately. Radix here taking the straight boost to the finish. But it's a little bit of a danger zone because they need to make it through. This is gonna be a tough one for people to get through. There is no security, no rails here. Holly Monka makes it through. Oh, Holly Monka. Oh, Holly Monka. Oh, Holly Monka made it to the finish. Ewan just died right behind there. Nebby followed right behind with second place. Shonas somehow landed on a shortcut. Fluke Nukem and myself and Kragenos, Launa, Flying Bananas, Recoy. Well, congrats, Holly Monka, for winning this white Zone X75. Claim. All right, I saw the exclamation claim over there. Let's wait for Fish to wrap up here, and Holy Manga with the big win. Let's just make sure they're there. My first keyboard wasn't Iqnix. Oh, look at this! It's like full circle. Congrats, Holy Manga. I will send you a little form here. So give me like a minute here. I will send you a form for you to fill out. Oh, I guess you can just fill out the form for that I typically use for stickers and stuff, because that one pretty much has the info that I need. So oh yeah, okay, it's this one. Alrighty. Oh yeah, it's this one. Okay, this one's from previous subathon, I think, but yeah, okay, yeah, this one. I'll DM you Holy Monka right now. So let's do that now. Holy Monka, find you on the chat here, and message. How do I do this? DM. There it is. Whisper, and please fill out the form that I sent you out. Thank you for claiming, and congrats. All right, I shall. Do you want this signed for fun? So you know you got it here and now? Because why not? Yes, sign? Okay. Alright. It's hard to see this. Oh, you can still see the letters. Kiwi paw print or bust? Damn, that's. I'll draw you a little. Little beans. Anyway. There it is. Do cats have 5 beans? They do have 5 fingers, technically. So, I don't know, actually. What's the date today? I guess it's 17th of August as of now. So, I'll mark that. And, yeah, fill out the form. I will DM you. If you could fill out, if you have Discord, it will be good. But if not, I'll DM you anyway. And we'll figure out shipping. I'll tell you the price, you'll pay shipping, and you'll get it in the mail soon enough. I mean, you'll get tracking from me, and you'll get in the mail. So, congrats. I thought it was 4. Well, there we go. So maybe I got it wrong. Whatever, it's fine. Alright, well, congrats. Congrats, congrats. They also have a dactyl claw, the back bean. Yeah, that's what I drew. The back bean, right? That's why I drew 4, like 1, you know. But maybe I got it wrong. I don't know. All right. Oh, Clackbait, hello. How's it going? Here, wrapping up here. Did a small giveaway. But yeah, there will be more like giveaways and whatnot sprinkled throughout my streams. I have a bunch of stuff that I haven't gotten a chance to give away, and also stuff that has been recently been popping up to give away. Stuff that I also like was donated through some vendors and whatnot who are like super generous. They're like, oh, just give it away on stream and stuff. And so we'll be, salt and peppering them throughout the different streams that we do. So if you're a regular, you'll expect to see them at some point. But yeah, I'll be giving away stuff like that, like keyboards or key sets or just like random stuff, switches maybe, like that kind of stuff. But yeah, congrats again. Holy Monka. Pinged a second before it happened. I know. I totally missed the fact that I had started the countdown for the marbles, and I was like, oh. So I'm sorry, DMT. Zilla, I'm sorry. Anyway, hi Kim, how's it going? Do you start Fontaine stuff? I haven't. I'm like super behind. But yeah. Alright friends, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm going to go raid somebody. Let's check out who to raid. So funnily enough, Kim is streaming and saying hi to me right now. So there's Kim. BTZ is also BTZ is also streaming. I see Mr. Captain Sterling. I see Tofu Types. Mr. Prius is apparently doing doing an Octagon V2 build. So whichever you want to go to, actually. A real one's entered on time? I'll forgive you for a clack. Damn. High prize, man. Tofu? Yeah, sure. I don't think I've rated Tofu. Have we rated Tofu before? I don't think so, right? I don't think so. Let's go rate Tofu Types. Why not? I don't think I've rated Tofu before. So Tofu Types. Meow go. Well, since they're Tofu Types, and I like tofu, the regular food, let's go ask them what form of tofu dish is your favorite. Meow go pog gers. What style? What form? It's fine. Anyway, goodbye. Oh, Pirulito. Ooh. Long time no see, my friend. Alright, let's go raid Mr. Tofu Types. Again, thank you for coming by. Thank you for hanging around. Again, thank you for Zepsity for the switches. Really nice. If you like long pull, these Zepsity Wisteria V2s, I recommend. Nice and clacky on this thermal. And yeah. Alright friends, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good rest of your week. Almost done with the week. It's been a long week. I'm done with it, but hang in there, guys. Alright. Good night, guys. See ya.